Well, hello, fellow constitutionalists, and welcome to the Dan Clements Show, a Christian political talk show. I'm your host, Dan Clements, your constitutional warrior, fighting for your right just to be an American. It is July 23rd in the year of our Lord 2024. Remember, we're a hyphen-free, PC-free zone. God is in control, and he does love you. And I'm broadcasting live from the Hemlock Studios here in the beautiful central Susquehanna Valley. And I got a decent show for you today. In the middle of the show prep, I found out that the show's about the hearing yesterday, and I found out while I was doing the show prep that the hearing that I watched for 6 hours yesterday, and Director Cheatle was insistent she wasn't going to resign. She finally resigned late this morning while I was doing show prep. So I got that mixed in here with. I just wanted to go over the show prep with you, or not show prep, but the what I watched with the hearings with you. This is my takeaway. This is my own takeaway with it. It's not exhaustive. There's a lot more points I could make, but I'm not going to make. So I just wanted to let you know that and this is the way news happens sometimes. While you're working on something, something else happens and it comes up and it just knocks you for a loop. So I'm just hoping and praying nothing else drops while I'm doing this. And I am live broadcasting on, or live streaming on, Rumble and YouTube at the same time. No, for some reason I failed to connect to Rumble. I'm trying to use the static key that Rumble has, and for some reason it is not working. And I'm on YouTube right now. I can let this go. It's actually broadcasting on YouTube, so that's working. It's healthy. Everything's working fine, so I'll just have to upload it to Rumble. I'll get this straightened out. OBS has this new dock that I can multicast on different places. The beta static key for Rumble is something it's in a beta form, and for some reason it's not working. And to get the other key, you got to set a whole broadcast up on Rumble instead of like you do with YouTube. Just put the keys in and the URL for the RTMP, and away you go. But right now we're just going to be doing Rumble or YouTube, and I'll upload it to Rumble later. I want to start live broadcasting to Rumble over YouTube because YouTube knocks some of my videos off. And it makes me mad, makes me real mad. So these are some of my key takeaways from the hearing yesterday, 6-hour hearing. You go back if you want to. I know it's on YouTube. You go back and watch it if you want. I sort of politically geeked out yesterday and watched it. First time in a long time that I've been able to do something like that. I've been having some health issues. I'm on the mends. The final thing I'm on the mends about is a detached retina in my left eye. So if I look like Popeye every now and then when I'm looking at the camera, it's only because I need to shut my eye to read because my left eye is still blurry. I'm a week out tomorrow from the operation to reattach my retina. So I ask for your thoughts and your prayers while I'm healing with that and trying to get these videos out. All right. These are some of the key takeaways with the, and I you'll probably won't see my pretty face here for a little bit until I get until I get through these. These are some key takeaways I got from the hearing. This is from this particular source is from Epoch Times. The key takeaways from Secret Service Chief's testimony on Trump's shooting. Now, the first key takeaway that we have is describing the incident as the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades. No kidding. It hasn't been since Ronald Reagan, I believe, that there was an attempted assassination on a sitting president. Donald Trump's a former president who is also a candidate running for president in this election cycle. So the most significant operational failure of Secret Service in decades. And Miss Cheatle, the director of the Secret Service, began her testimony by accepting full responsibility for security lapses that allowed it to happen. Okay, and it's funny. It is. I mean, it's tragic more than it is funny, but it's this whole hearing was just a farce as far as the Miss Cheatle. She was very defiant, wasn't forthcoming in details, which I know she could have shared but didn't. Be that as it may, let's go on to the next one here. Secret Service solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders, and on July 13th, we failed, she said, vowing to move heaven and earth to ensure that such an attack never happens again. Vowing to move heaven and earth. The problem with that, she hadn't gone out to Butler, PA, hadn't, as far as I know, contacted the families of the fallen and the injured. Done none of that as far as I know. I haven't read anywhere where she did. I looked up some looked into news and hadn't seen anything. I don't even know if President Biden has reached out to the families or not. I would say probably not, but that's just me saying. But the fact that they failed, and she says she's going to move heaven and earth to ensure that such an attack never happens again. The hearing was like, 9 days out from the attack. I mean, the attempted assassination. In 9 days, you can find out a lot of information. It shouldn't take weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of investigation to find out what happened. Okay. So we have, as both Republican and Democrat, committee members peppered Miss Cheatle with questions. They called several times for her to step down. If you have an assassination attempt on a president or a candidate, you need to resign. Representative Ro Kahana, Democrat, that's important, Democrat California, said. He also went on to say, as he pointed out, to the 1981 resignation of Secret Service Director Stuart Knight after the assassination attempt against President Ronald Reagan. So here we have they're calling for a resignation. There's an example that she should have followed before today about resigning, and she didn't. And it amazes me that it took her this long to resign. She could have resigned at the beginning of the hearing, just went through the hearing, but she didn't. Miss Cheatle told the committee that she had no intention of resigning. I think I am the best person to lead the Secret Service at this time, she said at one point. Best if you want the Secret Service to fail, in my opinion. Now, that's my humble opinion, but best if you want the Secret Service to fail and you want to try to cover up something, or you don't want to report on things the way they're supposed to be reported on, okay? The next key takeaway here is the committee's bipartisan leadership disagreed. Immediately following the hearing, Oversight Chairman James Comer and the ranking Democrat member did send her a letter calling for Cheatle's resignation in the middle of the presidential election. The committee and the American people demand serious institutional accountability and transparency that are not being provided, the congressman wrote, and that was the Oversight Chairman James Comer. Now, what they disagreed on was the points of argument, and we'll get into that here just in a second. But they were disagreeing on other things that really didn't have a lot to do with the hearing itself, the failure of the Secret Service. Now, Mr. Representative Raskin, felt that it was, and most of the Democrats on that committee felt that it was better if they talked about gun control. Anytime there's a mass shooting, doesn't matter if it's something that was caused by the propaganda in the lamestream media, which Democrats promote and support, or just regular gun violence in America, they want to take your guns. They really do. Even with both sides calling on Ms. Cheatle to step down, there was a clear difference between how Democrats and Republican members approached the hearing. For example, several committee Democrats focused their statements on gun control. Millions and millions of Americans don't feel safe with all the AR-15s out there, Mr. Raskin said. We thought at least the President of the United States or the former President of the United States should be safe, but now that's not even clear. And there was other Presley, Representative Presley from Massachusetts, I believe she is, part of the squad, made a ignorant comment. I know she wasn't talking to an informed veteran about the AR-15s that we have today in civilian life. Says the veteran said nobody in the civilian population should have military weapons. An AR-15 is not a military weapon, folks. It is a civilian weapon. It is only semi-automatic, period. A military weapon, you can go, and I'm going back to my boomer days. We had M16s that you could go semi-automatic, or they had some that you could, I think the A2s could go triple burst or double burst, one of the two. Or the older ones, you could go what we affectionately called rock and roll, full auto on the M16s. So again, we see that the Democrats want to keep hammering at this gun control. And it's ridiculous. Some of the things they said was totally ridiculous. I didn't fact check them. I know somebody out there is fact checking them. I just want to put these points out. You can go research some of these things that were said if you want to watch the whole hearing, or you just read these takeaways on it. Now, the Republican side, I think, did a good job. I think some of them got carried away. Some of this one, I won't say who it was. You have to go back and look. She got kind of vulgar and profane with her language. She was upset at Director Cheatle that she wasn't answering the questions properly. Again, that was totally different. The Republicans weren't talking about gun control because we know better, and I'm not a Republican, I'm a conservative with the Constitution Party, but we know it's not about the guns, it's about the person, because guns don't kill people. It's people with guns that kill people, because a gun is amoral. And it is an inanimate object that cannot move under its own compunction, cannot make moral choices, or right or wrong, whether to shoot or not shoot. It's all controlled by a human being. Democrats don't seem to get this. They just absolutely don't seem to get this. They don't care about Raskin. At one time during the hearing, because she said about the people have Second Amendment, and he goes, well, but we have the right to regulate that Second Amendment. No, you don't. What part of shall not be infringed don't you understand? And I'm telling you, back during World War II, when the powers that be in Japan were talking about invading the West Coast, there was a comment made by one of the commanders, and I have to go look it up, but they said, we think we woke a sleeping giant, and if we try to invade the United States, there will be a rifle or a gun behind every blade of grass. I mean, I'm just putting that out there, folks. I mean, it's not only to protect ourselves from our own government overreach and becoming a totalitarian state. It's also to protect our country against foreign invasion. I mean, what country out there would be stupid enough to come attack us and want to try to take us over besides maybe China? But that's a different story. Again, total different approaches between Republicans and Democrats on this. Now, the news we got coming out today is that the Secret Service chief quit for failing to protect Trump. She should have done it yesterday. She should have either done it at the beginning of the hearing or at the end of the hearing. Shouldn't have waited till the day to do it. Matter of fact, she didn't even wait until the hearing to do it. She should have resigned the next day after the attempt and still came to the hearing to answer questions. Okay? Now, and I think she was forced out. I really do. I think the powers that be in the Biden administration, whoever's pulling the levers of power behind Biden, wanted her gone because that looked bad yesterday. I mean, that was bad for the administration and also for Cheatle herself. It was just really bad. And I just want to read this one quote here. While Director Cheatle's resignation is a step towards accountability, we need a full review of how these security failures happen so that we can prevent them going forward. James Comer, the Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, said in a statement, "We will continue our oversight of the Secret Service." So he's pretty much vowing that they're going to keep going. They're going to keep digging. They're going to keep, I imagine the next ones that they're actually going to talk to might be the FBI. I would almost say it would be, it might be the FBI. But again, I don't trust the FBI. And I don't think the Republicans trust the FBI because a couple of them actually said it during the hearing that they don't trust the FBI investigating this. Now, I don't know who else is going to investigate it. And they're talking about the Speaker of the House today said that they're going to set up a commission. No, I'm tired of these congressional commissions, you know. And I think what needs to happen is I think a state like Pennsylvania, because it happened here in Pennsylvania, needs to take the bull by the horns and set up a civilian, non-governmental, no politicians commission, you know, with law enforcement and maybe some DAs and some other lawyers on it to take a look at this whole thing. And maybe just some average Joes that they put on juries, you know, to take a look at this thing and see what's going on in our government. Like I said, I get tired of these commissions because nothing ever happens. No heads roll. Nobody gets fired. I'm glad that Kimberly Cheatle stepped down today. You know, I think that was the best thing for her to do. But I think she waited way too long for that. Now, we did get a statement from Joe Biden, and I was watching some. This is from Newsmax, by the way. I was watching some videos yesterday, and some people who were in the know and had some clips. Jill Biden really liked Kimberly Cheatle. And I think she was part of the reason she was hired. And she wasn't hired into the Secret Service. She was with the Secret Service for, I think she said 26 years. Before that, she worked security for Pepsi. And people on their conservatives out there putting this out, you know, make it sound like she came straight from Pepsi to the head of the Secret Service. That wasn't the case. But again, with the atmosphere that we've had over the past 26 years with intersectionality, social justice, now we have the DEI stuff, diversity garbage that's going on out there. Did she actually earn that post, or was she promoted because she was a woman? I'm just putting it out there. I know I'm going to get some slack for this. I'm just putting it out there. President Joe Biden's statement on Kimberly Cheatle's resignation. President Joe Biden issued a statement Tuesday after the U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle announced she was resigning. Jill and I are grateful to the Director Kim Cheatle for her decades of public service. She has selfishly dedicated and risked her life to protect our nation throughout her career in the United States Secret Service. We especially thank her for answering the call to lead the Secret Service during our administration, and we are grateful for her service to our family, Biden said. As a leader, it takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization's tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service. Sorry, folks, I didn't mean to laugh during that. That's coming out of Joe Biden's mouth, you know, or his writers. And you know, this, I just got to laugh. As a leader, it takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility. Well, you know what? I think Joe is responsible for appointing her as the head of the Secret Service. I think there's some responsibility that falls back on Sleepy Joe. The independent review to get to the bottom of what happened on July 13th continues, and I look forward to assessing its conclusions. We all know what happened that day and can never happen again. As we move forward, I wish Kim all the best, and we will plan to appoint a new director soon. To me, that's funny. That is really, really funny that the Biden administration is going to appoint another head of the Secret Service. I wonder if this is going to be a didn't earn it hire also. And I think an investigation needs to go into Cheatle to see if she was actually qualified to be the director. See what she actually did in the Secret Service. I haven't seen any of that yet. That should come out in days following. So there you have it, folks. News works real fast and furious, and I try to keep up with it. I'm trying to get back into the swing of doing videos on a daily basis. My health issues are on the mend, and hopefully I won't have any more for a couple months. And the next one's going to be minor one with a knee. So I'm looking forward to getting it fixed. I'm not looking forward to the recovery, but hopefully during that, I should be able to do some videos during that. This has been the Dan Clements Show. I'm your host, Dan Clements, your constitutional warrior. Remember, if you aim at nothing, it's getting late in the day. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video, folks.